Evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce tonight's speaker, Dr. Catherine Osingi, an internationally recognized functional, integrative, and longevity medicine practitioner, specialist, educator, and a passionate advocate for helping families build lasting health and wellness through root cause medicine. For years, Dr. Catherine has empowered thousands of individuals and families with practical science-based strategies to optimize health, wellness, and tonight she's here to help you give your children the strongest possible start to the new school year. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Dr. Catherine Osingi.
Thank you so much, Maria, for that warm welcome, and good evening to you all. Wherever you're joining in, I am so glad you're here. And I want you to take tonight as an opportunity for us to learn and to kind of sharpen our skills and also brush on our skills and maybe just educate ourselves on ways we can help our children be more successful this school year. I'm sure they're already successful, and I'm sure that we already have strategies in place. But I want us to know tonight that we can fortify the school year even before it starts to make it an amazingly stress free year for our children. So, welcome tonight, and I can assure you that this 1 hour you will be spending with me will be very worthwhile, and you will grab some few things. So, grab some water, grab some tea, and a notebook to take notes. And also, please tell a friend if there's someone you think might know some things about what we're going to discuss tonight, but that can sharpen their skills or learn something, or even just improve the children's school year. Please send them the link. You already have the link. They can register and join in, and they'll be glad they did. I can assure you that for sure. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the school year does not start the first year of school, right? It starts now. The preparation starts now. If it's kindergarten, third grade, college, first year in college, it starts now. It starts today. So there's several things that we'll know that there different things will take place, will actually take flight from this meeting tonight. And how do I know that? How do I know that what we're going to all benefit from today is what do we notice that our children start school and the cough starts sometimes when week 3 when they've settled, when they've mingled around other children, and they come up with that cough and reaching out, or the runny nose, and we know that something is wrong. You were home all summer and you were doing well, and why is your nose running? Why is this cough? Where is this cough coming from? So those are things that we always we see once school starts, like, oh, it's because they're back in class, but it doesn't have to be that way. And that is part of my promise to you tonight, that you will learn, or you will brush in your skills on how exactly you can protect your child as you set them up for their first day of school. I have 20 years of experience, and on this side, as you know, on this other side of the prescription pad, and also 22 years as a mother, like yourself as well, in this in I guess it's in the experience of motherhood, and also as a practitioner as well, trained in integrative and functional medicine, and also working with clients at Alphacare Wellness Center all those years. So that's what I'm bringing to the table tonight. So a little bit of everything, right? Okay, so that's kind of what makes it different for me, for who I am and what I'm bringing to the table. All right, and like I mentioned, at the end of tonight, I hope that you will all be able to, few things you'll learn, like I said, how you are able to prevent that third week of cough, how you're able to strengthen the immune system, and also build your own medicine cabinet. Now, I'm not referring to traditional medicine. I'm referring to the holistic aspect, the functional medicine, natural therapies, so that you can have and you can arm yourself with as your children go on into the school year. So, a quick poll. I would like to know who is under your roof. Do you have a kindergarten, pre-K to 8, high schooler? Maybe you have your first one launch into college. What do you have under your roof? So please, it's an easy go ahead and just take a picture of that QR code and let me know. High schooler, good. We have a high schooler here. I bet we'll probably have some K through 8, maybe launching one. Maybe you have more than one, or maybe you have a couple in college. Who knows? I can assure you this will be beneficial to you. It doesn't matter what stage of life your children are. You can also still help them and advise them even as they're going into adulthood, or even if they're babies, right? Okay, we didn't have that. Great. Thank you all for participating. Lunch into college this fall. Yay. Wonderful. High schoolers. Okay. All right. Where are my K to 8? All right. Okay. All right. Well, maybe you have more than one. Well, thank you for participating. It's good for me to know that. Thank you. So we have a really good variety, and I bet we'll probably have some even newborns. It's never too early to start to put all this little tools in your toolbox, right? In your medicine cabinet, like I mentioned, is not your traditional medicine. I know you have that, but tonight we're talking about the natural therapies, right? So, we prepare everything. We get the school bags ready. We prepare for the kind of lunches we want to have. But what about the body and the brain, right? That will do all the work. So this is what we're focusing on tonight. We're focusing on not the tutor, the next tutor, the best tutor for the school year, what the schedule, we all that we have in place. We've met with a teacher, we're going to meet with a teacher, or you've met with a teacher, but tonight we're going to focus on how we can help your child, right? That's going to be our focus tonight. All right, so I kind of broke tonight down into four pillars. We have the rhythm, and I'll talk. I'll break that down as well for us tonight. We have the fueling, fueling the brain, fueling the body, the defense mechanism, right? Like how can we avoid that week 3 illness that comes in, the cough, the fever, right? Breaking the fever and just not the sense of feeling unwell. And what about the reserves? Like the reserve just going low, right? Not going into empty, going low. So those are things that we're going to be looking at tonight, knowing that every pillar ends with something you can do this week. You can start to work on building on your child's pillar tonight. And this, again, like I said, from newborn all the way into their 30s, they're still your children. You can help them, right? You can send this to them, even though if they're already parents as well. Nothing tonight is a verdict on your parenting. I want to know that. I know if you're here tonight, I know you're here because of the abundance of love you have for children. I used to say this, I wish children came with a manual. And as we all know, you birth these children, or you're a guardian, or you're a foster parent, or you're an aunt, you're an uncle, and you play a significant role in the life of children. You know that it doesn't come with a manual. There's certain things you learn as you go. So I want you to give yourself a pat on the back where you are, and and celebrate your achievements. Okay, we all learn, and from this same river, we all learn together. So I might know a lot to put on the table tonight, but that's just because I've dedicated a portion of my life into studying this, into what I can do to make lives better for parents, to make my life better as a parent, and also to be an instrumental parent as a provider to all that come into my practice. So every mother, father that's here, you're doing your best, you're doing a great, give yourself a pat on the back. All right. Next slide. And some of the slides I'm going to try to go really fast because I have a lot to talk about tonight, and we might come back to some as well. So again, if you know someone that you feel is going to benefit from this tonight, please let them join in. There's still so much more I'm going to cover, and I really want to share this wealth of knowledge. So before we build, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to the 7 clues I am going to talk tonight, because these are clues that very important in the signals your children will send to you. Either they're young or they're old. they're going to have the signals. And most times, like I said, it's no judge. There's no judgment on the parenting skills. It's just the fact that we have not been able to identify it as signals, as the clues that are needed to understand that something might be missing. And you might have noticed it and you might have tried to work on it, but you probably don't have enough tools to help you get across to the other side. So tonight we're going to work on those and recognize that. And if any of this is recognizable and you want to discuss further, you can always reach out to me and we can deep dive further on some of this tonight as well. Clue number one, your child wakes up exhausted most mornings, even after a full night's rest. You know, the lights are turned off, they were in bed, the phones are put downstairs, but still, you know, and it's a signal that your child did not have a restorative sleep. And that is when your child, I will see some children in my practice, parents will tell me they wake up yawning. You already know, yawning and tired, not even able to say good morning. Sometimes it's been read off as attitude, but are we looked into the sleep quality? Because your child went to bed does not mean your child was actually sleeping. And how was your child breathing, at nighttime? And I can say a little bit more about sleep. I love sleep medicine. Of course, I guess I'm partial to sleep medicine because my husband's a sleep physician. So I've really, truly investigated and researched sleep, even for our children, like knowing the quality, trying to see how I can help them with the quality of their sleep because it's so important into how they perform the day after, right? The day of, because every day is performance. They're waking up to go to school to be their best, to perform for themselves, right? To perform to be their best self. So if they're already waking up exhausted, we have to look at this. That's a clue. That's one clue that maybe you're missing. What's the sleep quality? What is the circadian rhythm? We're going to talk about that. I'm going to brush on that a little bit more down the line. And what about stress? Sometimes are they truly sleeping or are they thinking about what's going on in class or maybe, I mean, and hopefully they don't have their phones in their rooms or maybe they're stressed about a friend or a friendship or something just bothering them. They're children. So these are things that if you're not looking into, you might be missing a lot of good signals that might be able to help your child. And not to talk about nutrition. Did they eat a good meal before dinner? How was the meal throughout the day? How much protein, macronutrients? I'm so big on nutrition for children. How much protein are they having? How much complex carbohydrates is your child having? How much good fats are they having? What do they have for dinner before bedtime? There's also so many clues and so many signals that just turns that on. And I'll be honest with you tonight. When I started making this PowerPoint, my dear Maria said, "Oh my gosh, you have." I mean, and yes, I do have 50 slides, and I don't even think we're going to, for the life of me, I don't think we're going to be able to go through it. But I'm so excited about them because there's so many areas that we miss as parents. Iron status. I see that in girls, teenage girls. When was the last time you, as a mother or a father, have even thought about blood work for your child? Your child looks tired all the time, sleeps 13, 14 hours, but wakes up tired. That's a signal that something is not right. This whole slide right here could be my main conversation because there's so many things that go into the iron status of a child. And when I mean iron status, I'm not just talking about the hemoglobin. I'm talking about looking at the complete iron status, looking at the ferritin, looking at the iron saturation. When have we even looked into that to say, okay, why are you always tired? When are we thought about, okay, talk to their provider, have their tonsils checked. If you think they quit breathing, sometimes it's a signal when your child is tired, might be in the middle of the night, wake up. I've done this before. Wake up and sneak into their room to see a couple of things their children will know. Okay, either phones put up, one. Two, are they breathing properly? Do you know how your child breathes? And also, you had dinner. Did they really eat, or have they gone to have they had sports all day? Have they had tutoring all day? I mean, they're our children now. Come on, look at the schedules. It's packed, fully packed. Tutor, music, recital, name it. But we forget the fundamentals, and then we talk about the child is exhausted when they wake up, and then the child is misbehaving when they get to school. Sometimes they will because they're not refueling. So this right here, I want to come back to it. And please, as as been told, I want you to start putting your questions in the chat box. So it's a little different tonight. If you have questions, put your questions in the chat box. I'm going to get to them tonight. And if there's anything that you want, you can put it anonymously as well. It doesn't matter. But this right here, I want to stop here. Moms, dads, if your children are in activities, music, what have you, create a sleep quality cycle. Know when they're rising and when they're sleeping. And start teaching them. Like all my clients, all the children I see, that's one of my first fundamental questions. See, the way I practice is the way my passion lies. Because I feel like our children, if they don't understand the quality and the importance of sleep, we're missing a lot of it. So you start by letting your child understand how many times are you waking up to pee? That that is a question to ask you. Do you know? I've had an active boy in his teenage years tell me, "Oh, I wake up to pee. Dr. Catherine, I just don't know. I just can't sleep. I wake up to pee all the time." That we had to do a cortisol 24-hour testing on this boy because there was something wrong in him not sleeping through the night and him going to sleep. When your child wakes up to pee, that is not natural. There's something going there. There's a dysregulated hormone happening. Okay, because when they go to sleep, cortisol should be what? Should do what? Should lower, and melatonin should release and help them sleep. They don't need to take melatonin, all right? They don't have to take melatonin. You don't have to give them melatonin at night, but they have to have good sleep habits. Parents, if you start here, if you start here and you take a screenshot of this, I can guarantee you great success for your child because the child does what? Wakes up rejuvenated. I understand they have homework. Yes, I've been through it. I understand that they have homework till midnight, past midnight. And sometimes too, what are we doing with their weekends? How are they, like I mentioned to teenage parents, back their sleep? I know it doesn't make sense, but this is something that we practice now. I'm like, okay, there are days you're just going to try to sleep, like as in just sleep, as in have a good restorative sleep. Clue number two. Clue number two. Frequent stomach aches or constipation. This is a how many parents, I wish I could run a poll on this. No, okay, this is gonna sound strange to you, but how many of you know what your child's poop looks like? And this is a serious question. Some of us, okay, I really want some of us. There. Remember, there's no judgment here, no verdict placed. We're all learning. But some of us do not even know that our children have not moved their bowel in a week, or they have inconsistent bowel movement. Okay, or they have. I mean, when was the last time you had that conversation? When was that? I mean, even your adult child, how are we communicating to understand that these children need help? They have stomach aches, they have intolerance, they have certain food intolerances, they react to certain foods, and that is probably why they cannot eat. The gut and the brain, we know about the interrelation, the connection, the connectivity between the gut and the brain. I would love to delve into science tonight, but like I said, I have a lot to discuss about the clues. Maybe my follow up, should you want one, will be discussing and going into the sciences of each one of those clues. So, when was the last time that your child told you, or you asked your child, how often do you move your bowels? And how does that relate to the gut and the brain, the bidirectional relationship between the brain and our gut system? And what happens when your gut health is improved, and how that indirectly and directly correlates to your mood, energy, immune function, and the overall well being of the child. Knowing that the child is not bloated, moves the bowel consistently, right? And feels good, no bloating and no aches and pains, and also feeling like they can eat what and without having any type of food sensitivities. When have we had that conversation? And how that sometimes, and helping them understand how this can correlate with how they're functioning with their focus. Again, it's not always about medication. It's about understanding the signs and the signals. It's about understanding the bidirectional link between our brain and our gut, just as we have as adults, and how 70% of the feel good hormones, our serotonin receptors, reside in the gut. And does that is that not mind boggling when a child tells you, "I don't feel good, I feel sad, I feel you know all these emotions," and yet you don't even look into how this child processes food, what types of food and all some of this of course has to do with the types of food they're eating. So maybe we go to know your child, understand your child, not just your child, but how their body is processing things. How about we talk about how every of the systems, each in the digestive system, the nervous system, how all that is working, how all the systems are functioning. As an adult, we sometimes understand our clues. I know we don't always, but how we help them understand that come and talk to me when you have this situation, not just oh you have situation with your constipation and then the next thing is oh milk of magnesia, you just when did it start, what did you have for breakfast, what have you been eating, what is going on in your immune system, right? I want questions tonight. I want questions from you. I want to hear from you in the chat. I think I have a question in the chat and I would like to take this time to address it. Is there a question in the chat?
Dr. Catherine, there is a question
Oh, I'm
in the
sorry.
Q&A. The question is about homework and home chores. It makes it hard to sleep early. So if you're doing homework and you've got chores, how do you make sure that you dedicate the time for your sleep?
That's a very good question because there are 24 hours in a day. We all have to remind ourselves that. The fundamental here is we still have to restore. We all have to restore, either as parents and as children. So the chore, what might need to happen is if a child has their chores to do, they might have to maybe front load that to the weekend when they have more time. And maybe make it a little lighter during the week, especially with the way education is now. Education now in our day is so challenging. It's great. I love the way our children are challenged. However, the fundamentals cannot be overlooked. The children still have to sleep. They have to go to bed at a decent time. Oh Lord, I know that is quite impossible, but they still have to get some adequate sleep. When they do not restore, I don't understand how we think their biology will survive because this is a concern. So if that child has choice and homework and all the responsibilities in addition to everything else going on in school, being a leader, being in a club, an organization, sleep has to be scheduled for a child as well. I really do think so. It has to be scheduled at a good time. And I know that's hard when they're teenagers, but at the good time so they can restore. If they do not restore, it becomes cumulative toxicity to that child because over time, so many areas of that child begins to fail. Either we woke up with being exhausted, and what happens, inability to focus in class. It happens to all of us. We're all humans, and there's certain things that our biology requires. When your biology fails to have the adequate tools it needs to restore, then it starts to fail. And nature has the ability for the body to restore itself. So this child will have to schedule sleep, and the chore will definitely, and the homework will have to be scheduled as well, prioritizing sleep so that child can restore. Thank you for that question. Now, the third clue is difficulty focusing or frequent brain fog. The child is unable to focus. First clue, I already gave that to you. Inadequate sleep, big one. Inconsistent nutrition, blood sugar swings, stress, and other factors. I already spoke about the first two, blood sugar swings. When a child is tired, typically you might see that child reaching for unnecessary sugar, trying to compensate. And then you have the swings in the day because the child just wants to find a way to manage the day. So the child will have the blood sugar spike from eating unnecessary sweets and sugar and sugary drinks, and that is where it starts because now the child also, or the parents, not by default, doesn't even know that healthy fats is very vital for a child's brain health, and so is good protein. Protein in the morning, good breakfast, the foundation of a child's day. Good breakfast. I see some parents say, well, they took their nutrition, they took their vitamins. No, vitamin starts with a quality breakfast, protein, complex carbohydrates, not sugary, processed cereal, milk that has no nutrients, no apple juice, but good nutrients. Good nutrients. The child goes with healthy fats and feels vitality and feels focus and does what? Move their bowels. Because guess what? When you give your child complex carbohydrates, they have fiber, they can move their bowels. They don't have fiber, it becomes a little difficult. They don't have good greens, it becomes difficult. So when we talk about fortifying our children's school year, making them the best in what they do. And now, please do not get me wrong, your child will thrive in any environment they're placed in. They just need the right soil, the right ingredients, okay? And your child is brilliant and capable as they've been designed by God to fulfill their destinies, whatever it is. It is their creativity, but they need the right fuel. The brain needs the right fuel. The brain is the good fat, really good fats, the monounsaturated fats, the healthy fats, right? And the good protein. So this is essential, at least the primary, doing it all first, and then adding on to say where are the problems, what's going on, where are the red lights, but facing the foundation. And we move on to the next thing. They catch a cold every time that it comes around. The flu season, the child is sick, coughing, cold, cough, runny nose, that's the immune system. Frequent illness. That is either goes back to the sleep part. Sleep is so important. When that child chronically lacks good and adequate sleep, it becomes a problem. Nutritional gaps created unintentionally, but you do create that when they don't have good nutrients. And I know sometimes Parents will argue this. It's difficult to know what your child will eat when they get to school, right? But you can handle what they have before they leave your house, and not cereal, not some processed, frozen food that you don't know. It could be frozen, but you just have to check the nutrients. So make sure at least this is feeding my child some good nutrition, and that's stress. Helping them understand how to manage stress. And I know sometimes, like I said, we have overachievers. We have children that are, they're in their prime. They have so many goals and dreams. They want to do it all. Maybe we step in and help them manage. Like the mom that just asked, or dad that asked about that child that has to manage chores. Absolutely, still very important. Still has to learn that, the responsibility of chores, and also still has to complete schoolwork. That's life. That's knowing how to manage it all. However, us stepping in to say, well, your day is 24 hours is already full, and you still need 9 good hours of good quality sleep. Amen to that, right? 9 good hours of quality sleep, plus still have to get nutrition in. Then we wonder if we're able to help, at least do some. Now, I am not preaching 100% to you tonight, parents, because I know that could be impossible. Again, I said school system nowadays is challenging. The children are trying to do so much more, even either going to college. Now they're being faced with in a different environment. They've never left home. Now they're going to be with a roommate that they don't know, not understand what the roommate schedule is, lifestyle, and all of this. Maybe the roommate likes to stay up all night and your child wants to sleep. So many variables here, parents. And so also for a middle schooler or a high schooler, or your child that's starting kindergarten. Now you put all these variables together, it's enough for a child to be chronically stressed. How are you looking at that child to help them balance that? But start with few things you know. You don't have to know it all. I don't want to overwhelm you with, oh my goodness, what is she saying? This is not practical. I want this. I want you to leave this tonight having those tools in your hands. I humbly come to you tonight with all humility that I'm blessed by God that every child I've been able to help has been able to successfully at least handle what they have to handle and make great habits. So I want to help yours. Don't start from putting too many things on your plate or on their plate as well, right? Because sometimes you realize that what you put on your plate sometimes tend to go on their plate. Start from few things. Identify tonight. Is it the sleep? I'm going to work on sleep. I'm going to work on nutritional gaps. And I'm going to work on the stress. Prioritize what you think and move on with that. Environmental exposures. Oh, that's a big one. Environmental toxicity. We'll come to that next time.
Actually, Dr. Catherine, we do have a couple of questions in the
Oh,
Q&A.
okay. All right. Yes, please.
And the first one is, please give an example of a good breakfast because I feel bad. I give my child cereal or pancakes.
Well, remember, before I answer that, I told you tonight. Tonight is not, no judgment. I love that. Thank you for asking. That's a brilliant question. I get this all the time from parents. What should you feed your child? What should you feed your child? I'll tell you very easy, eggs. The choline in the yolk of eggs is so vital and fundamental for the developmental portion of your child's brain. Your child's brain is still growing. So giving your child eggs, now not all children love eggs. Can you put it in something? Can you mix it in? Because anything that's processed, the reason why I'm against cereal is not because, please, I want you to understand that. I wish we had all night. It's because cereal is highly processed. Next time you get a cereal box, turn the box, okay? Look at all the ingredients in the box. The added ingredients. It's not just the cereal. Then you have high fructose corn syrup. Then you have all the names of chemicals that you cannot even pronounce. I studied pharmacology. I have never in my life seen something as chemical laden as cereal before in my life. I mean, seriously. Now, sometimes I know moms and dads and guardians that you've got to get out of the house. They want their cereal. You can also get better cereal that is more whole grain and has one or two things. If it's rice, it's just brown rice and it says it's popped. That's it. Two ingredients. And maybe sweetened with brown organic brown sugar, maple, but that's all. Once you start seeing all the names you cannot pronounce, please, it's not good for your child. So you have, and I'll tell you too, we should have. I would love to have a webinar on that, on what to feed your child, because a lot of parents think it's so difficult. It's not. It's not you waking up again and starting and pulling up all the pans and cooking and you're trying to get to work. No, ma'am. You can find uncured sausage, uncured bacon, and that's all they need with water. Great, water, because anything sugary is just spiking blood sugar. You're getting the spikes up and down, up and down. We need them. And you'll see my graph later on. We need them to start their day like just really nice and straight line, not up and down ziggy-zaggy. Okay, so what else can you give them? So those are things you can give them: uncured turkey, bacon, uncured sausage. You can also good things, good nutrition. Let them understand you can have eggs, boiled eggs, if that's easier to make ahead of time. And once you teach them, they would know the importance of good food because they will be able to tell the difference. And I would tell you, I know that we practice that and it's worked so well. I know that once it's a buy-in process, mom and dad. Once they buy in, they can tell the difference. Because this is what I always tell parents. It's not about you saying, I'm going to do it all. No. Once your child can tell the difference, they buy into it. You don't have to teach them anymore. They will start their day and you would not even be making it for them. And they will know, okay, what do I need? I need my uncured sausage. I need my uncured turkey. Then what about the good fats? Avocado, extra virgin olive oil, ghee, good ghee, natural grass-fed butter on a nice unprocessed, nothing processed, nothing processed, nothing GMO, nothing. It's so vital for our children, even the adults. Why are we getting higher incidence of mental health? Our children depressed and we claim that why? It starts fundamentally with food. Food is medicine. When they buy into it, you don't have to, even chicken. Sometimes we'll have chicken for breakfast in our house because all I want you to do is protein. Don't let it stress you. Protein, complex carbs, healthy fats, okay? Protein, and they take that to school. They need that in college so they can sit down and understand what is being taught to them. So they don't feel like they're all over the place and they can't focus. And they don't feel like they need to be medicated to stay focused all the time. Now, if they need it, that's fine. I am not against that. I work collaboratively with pediatricians, internists, psychiatrists. However, the fundamentals is still important. Eliminate sugary drinks. Doesn't start the day. No, I mean, I can argue milk, honestly, and give you my own honest opinion on that. You can even do a smoothie in the morning. Not sweet, but natural sweetness. That's a great way to start. So those are little things you can do. If you need more insight, I'm ready. I'm willing to share that with you as well. I hope that helped. Thank you. Next question. And if you have more things to ask, you can. Next question, please.
Yes, actually, we have a great question here.
Okay.
How do you handle a teen who is difficult to get through to about all of this? One of my teens has been under the care of a holistic homeopathic practitioner in the
Oh,
past but has been out of the routine for so long. That, in
Mhm.
addition to a traumatic overhaul of the family unit, has her system and habits way out of whack. She thinks she knows what's best for her. Is there a teen-centric resource that is good for teens to watch, read, or look at so they can come to their own conclusions about what they should be doing?
Yes. I mean, it's there. There are resources for teenagers. There are resources, and one of the things I usually say is you want to see where what is going on with this teenager. Like, what exactly have they been to see a therapist, and do they need a therapist? If they do not, sometimes is seeing exactly what's going on with them, finding out where the struggle lies. And most times it starts with that conversation. And sometimes mom or dad, you've tried to have that conversation. You might need someone else. If you work with a functional medicine practitioner in the past, you might want to revisit that and start the work up again. Because there are different areas you can see exactly what's going on to really address the fundamental care. Because it sounds like this child feels like they know what's going on, but they might not be disclosing what's going on, and and someone needs to get to the bottom of it. So I think there are a couple of layers here, and I would love to help or direct you or channel you to a good resource or some good resources for that child. But yes, there are definitely a lot of good resources out there, and also good ways to ask questions as well to kind of get to the bottom of it. Good questions. Thank you. Any question before we move on?
Absolutely. By the time we get home from work, practice,
Mhm.
and homework, everyone is exhausted. How do busy families realistically eat healthier without spending hours cooking?
Good question. Yay, I'm glad someone asked us. And I hope we can all find this very useful. So, how can you, busy life, busy family, trust me, I get it. I can totally relate with that. This is what happens. The weekend is usually where it starts. At least you, and I know it's easier said than done. You want to start the weekend with having those. You have to have your staples. You have to have certain things that you cannot go without, and that's the honest truth. Some days and some weeks will look like you eating the same thing almost every almost every day, seriously. But one thing you have to establish in every home is your protein. Okay, and I want you to all write this down. Have your protein, identify your protein. We have to have protein. What's going to be our protein source? Right, it's a busy week. Okay, so it's going to be chicken. And are we going to be able to, and this is what I tell parents and I tell ourselves, are we going to be able to bake, broil? The least option is grill, because grill is charred, is not good for you. What are we going to do? What are our options for that? Okay, we're going to get salmon. I love salmon. I love fish. I love, because it's easy to make. If you all like fish, if you don't, a steak, can you make steak? Can you cut it up and do something where it's just 5 minutes? Now, when it comes to a busy family, it's not just going to take one person to be responsible. We all have to be responsible. We all have to know these are primary protein, complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and we have some of those in the refrigerator. So that might mean that, listen, we had chicken from Monday, we're going to have it again. And you know what? God forbid we forgot to have chicken, right? We forgot to buy chicken, we forgot to grill chicken, and that will happen. Where can we go? Where is our go-to store that we can get easy chicken that honestly, and you can easily just stir fry. And everyone, get your children involved. Get your children involved in cooking. It is so important. There is no way that you can make them successful in a school year, or you can be successful without your children being involved with you in the kitchen. And it, when you think about it, and I'll be honest with you, stir frying. I mean, salmon is the easiest. you can literally season the salmon in like 5-10 minutes. You're good to go. And I teach this to my clients. I teach that, if I am your provider, you know one of the things you're going to learn is how to cook, and you're going to learn how to love to cook, and how to also cheat your way into making it work. Okay, so you get chicken, someone's cooking it, or you can make it. You get easy ones. You get avocado. If you don't like avocado, you get brown rice, right? You make something out of it. You get broccoli. You steam your broccoli. You stir fry your broccoli. When you understand that is food is actually communication for your body, you start to treat food differently. Okay, that is important, and we have to teach our children this. Food is information for your body to use. It's a messenger. It's not just food. You have to take your mindset away from I'm eating food for pleasure. When you understand that food is your fuel, food is really what gets you from point A to B, and you make that a standard in your home, I can tell you will find the nights where it's like, okay, it's just salmon we have, and it is what it is, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Honestly, it's chicken, it's what it is, and it's legumes, it's lentil, it's beans, it's whatever, but it's fuel. So you treat it as that. Where the problem lies is when we go and say, oh well, yes, it's a because once you start that process, it's done, right? Because think about it. You can use what's that called? Instapot, pressure cooker. Instapot can cook you about 40 meals while you're actually trying to get ready, get things happening. You can do different things. You can make a pot of stew in Instapot, and everybody has it. Once you first establish that food is fuel, food is a messenger. Your body needs it. Your body cannot exist without food. Without good, yeah, you can go into fasting, don't get me wrong, but you cannot survive without good food. Because what is going on in our community, in our children, is like good food has been missing for a long time. So we need to restore it. And sadly, yeah, you can wiggle your way around it, but you still have to have good food. And now healthier stores, like I don't want to name any brand. I'm not affiliated with any brand, but a lot of them now will have pre-made meals, as in they've cut your chicken. They have green bell peppers and all that together, so you can just kind of make it easy. And so that this is some there's I have so many tricks and tips and different things you can do that would work. But yeah, you can certainly make it work and for everyone. And yeah, okay. All right, next question. Oh, what's happening?
Okay, we actually have a couple
Oh,
in the Q&A, but any take on natural seasonings that help with focus?
natural seasonings that help with focus. Well, that's a big one. You know what? I'm really enjoying this. If you really enjoy this, I want you to put that in your chat. If you really want to get, because honestly, I've not even gotten into any, I have so many more slides to go. Seasonings, there seasonings that help with focus. There's nothing bad. And I'm a master herbalist. I'm functional, integrative, what have you, master clinical aromatherapist. There are several things, there are herbs that will help with focus. Seasonings that will help with focus is, honestly, you want to hear the truth, and I'll tell you now, is you taking out all preservatives from your home. I mean all. So when you mean seasonings, you can start with tarragon. You can start with what do you like? Thyme. You can start with uh, turmeric. You can start with ginger. Any type of seasonings. What we need to do is take out preservatives. It doesn't affect us now. It affects later. And when we take off preservatives, it really helps focus, because I think I kind of get where that question is coming from. When a child is, we talked about environmental exposure, we didn't get to that. When a child is overstimulated, overly stimulated, and that's what we have in our society now, overly stimulated children, even adults, right? Even adults as well. And it comes from the food, because we ignore and look at, and even like some of the seasonings you have so many things out there. MSG, you have to look out and watch out for MSG, monosodium glutamate, and it hides in different things, high fructose corn syrup. And there are some of this herb, quote unquote herbs, that do have this negative, bad preservatives hiding in them under the name of herb or what have you. So that will say that's a big umbrella question that goes in different ways. But the best way is please eliminate all types of preservatives. Watch what you eat. Read your labels. Read your labels. Read your labels. Read your labels. Know what you're feeding yourself. Know what you're feeding your children. Know what you're bringing to your house. Know the environmental toxin exposure that you're bringing in. It's important, because if not, as much as you're trying to find that right herb, then you're still um, exposing them to the environmental toxins, which we didn't even get to talk to. Great questions. Do we have any more questions? We have time.
Yes, we
I
do.
have, wow,
Um,
wonderful.
what's your take on physical activity or exercise before school?
I like that. That's a two-coin question. I like physical activity. Wonderful. I like it a lot in the morning for a child that is well rested. Well rested. I don't know where I am in my slide. For those that are very interested in having a second portion of this webinar, I want you to indicate, because I will be having a private time to share this with you. I think this needs to be well taught, but I want to give of myself to those that really want to learn about this. Because when a child is not rested and you're having them work out in the morning, it could be a two-edged sword, because that child might be completely exhausted, and thinking that working on the morning would help them restore, that might actually have a negative effect. And we've seen that. And I'll have to see where that is in my slide. But that is something that I want you to know. If a child is well rested, feels good in the morning, well restored, absolutely great. Great. The best time to exercise is the morning, because it really works with our natural circadian rhythm, helping us with that rise in cortisol and helping with our cortisol awakening response. However, how was the night? And how does that child feel? If that child feels great, yes. And also, don't leave a child just to say, well, you have to work out in the morning so you feel good. Are they running on empty? What are they running on? Are they running on empty? If they're running on empty already, it's counterproductive. They might have to just do some restorative exercise to get them back to help their day better. Taking care of the fundamentals, eating, and maybe going out in the morning to get some morning rise of sunshine, and then going back in. So I want you to indicate in the chart or in the questions, I know and just let me know how you feel about this, because like I said, we still have a lot. We have 50 slides, and I really love the direction of this webinar. I'm so excited about it. I love the questions, and I love the energy you're bringing into it. Obviously, there are a lot of conversations to be had, and I'm here for it. All right. So we talked about the next one is big mood swings or rising irritability. We don't see this. A child is irritable, and we just think, oh, the child has issues. The child is having, it was acting irrational. The teachers are complaining, parents are complaining, but did we identify the root cause of that mood swing? Many things can affect a child's mood swing, so can it affect yours. That's why I love, part of why I love functional medicine. Sleep is one, nutrition, physical activity, emotional health. Remember the part that God plays in a child's life is so interesting. I can go on and give you countless testimonials of how, not to my glory, to the glory of God, how children's lives have been changed in our practice. It's amazing. Coming in with irritability, not being able to focus or manage your emotions, and being able to be at steady state, so I call it, and the physiology of that child. Have we tried to understand the child's biology? That's the question here. What have we done before we label the child? Okay, the teachers label the child. The parents also do not help, but we see irritability. Have we even looked at their iron status? Have we looked at the nutrition? If a child does not sleep consecutively in a week, like good restorative sleep, that child will be irritable. Give a child a good quality sleep where the child gets into, I'm talking about REM stage of sleep. I'm talking about deep sleep. I'm talking about being restored. I'm talking about getting melatonin released to get into that REM stage and waking up with a nice cortisol rise. And tell me that that child will not have a great day in school, or how that child will not be able to emotionally handle their day. We're having problems having children that are not able to handle their emotions well. But what if we start looking at the fundamentals before identifying the irritability, and what is the cause of that? What is behind this? Constant sugar craving is a clue. What causes that craving? Irregular meals, not having breakfast. The day of a child cannot start. They're leaving your home. At least those are things you can, what they eat in the morning. Even if you have to, and I get it, we all work different hours, different shifts, different times, different days. We work in Tokyo, Oklahoma, what have you, different parts of the world, and maybe not with our children. That's okay. They know you love them, but what if you show that, but let's just say, what is the meal, right? So that it's consistent, the breakfast and the protein, like how much protein are you getting? Eliminating processed foods, sleep always comes in, and the blood sugar swings. By helping them understand, when a child feels great once, that child will never go back to craving sugar. A child will always be a child, don't get me wrong. A child will always have days, influenced by but they know, oh, you know what? Let me go back. Let me reset. I have a big day ahead of me. I need to be able to help myself. Let me do this, so I can have a better day. I can be more prepared. I can perform at my best in my academics, in my relationships, in athletics, in leadership positions, what have you. Whatever they do, that brings them joy, in their recital, whatever they do, that they are performing at their optimum best. Optimum best, right? Very important. Clue number 7, less energy than other children. And this, but just going, like just no energy, just looking at what is it, why can't you, what is wrong, why you're sleeping all day, you get to school, your teacher is complaining, you're dragging, you're not, there's no vibrancy. Yes, the child might be getting the grades, but are they really happy? Are they truly happy? Are they truly performing at their optimum best? Again, sleep quality, nutrition, some medical conditions, and also conditioning. Exercise is very vital, but again, you cannot over exercise a tired body. You can never over exercise a tired, exhausted, no sleep, no nutrition body. It's not going to work. It wasn't meant for that. Or a child that's not restored. Or a child that's just pushing and pushing. And one day they push to their limit and they don't even know what that limit is. They just know, you know what, I'm done. I'm at my limit. And then someone identifies that, oh, I've got to go here. I've got to go see this person. I've got to go see this. Before you know it, there's just that cascade effect, and everyone is touching different, like different systems, because our medicine is very compartmentalized, and we forget the holistic approach, forgetting the fact that this areas we're looking at plays the primary area in the developmental life of a child, and even when they're older too, right? So emotional well-being as well, the emotions, like, are we understanding that? Do they have the right nutrients? Are we when what blood work have you ever run on your child to see their nutritional status, their mineral deficiencies? Why not? Why are we not checking our children? And a lot of them come back with a lot of nutritional deficiencies. When you actually notice some of those clues, there's something, there's signals. The red light goes on, but you're just not sure because the society tells you it's normal, and you accept the normal. And by the time you accept the normal, you place the normal, and the child goes on normal. But the child is like, listen, I am not functioning. But no one is listening, and we're slapping on with one thing or the other by the other and the other, and the child just keeps going and adapts to that life. And it doesn't have to be so. So I think I have a good part stopping at the clues, because the rhythm is four pillars, and I promise not to take a lot of our time, and it's 10 past the hour. I want to take one or two questions so I can stop 15 past the hour. It's been a great time. Like I mentioned, if this was so good to you, I want you to indicate this so I know. So that way I we can I can actually set up another time for us to continue this, because I just went to the tip of the iceberg. I'm not even gotten into I've not even gotten into everything yet, but I'm so excited about it. This has been great. So I will take two more questions. We round up the night, and we'll find another time to come back to this. This has been great. Yes, next
Yes.
question.
Okay, so we have a question in Q&A. My
Yes.
teen has things that compound. She's tired and running late for school, so she doesn't take food all the time. What are some good or recommended on-the-go breakfasts that don't have to be cooked or prepared?
Good. That's a great question. What does she like? What does she like? Would she like a smoothie? And guys, watch out. I am coming out, and this is a tried and true, okay? I don't walk, I don't talk the talk, I walk the walk. So if I'm telling you things, they're tried and true. I'm coming out with a powder, like I have a powder ready, but this is going to be a powder that is going to be at about almost 40 grams of pure protein, though, not the nonsense processed and all the nonsense jargons out there, that this this type of daughter or child will be able to have for breakfast. Either in this, it tastes really well, either in water, and she can truly drink this and go to school. Now, I don't like that to be the main meal. I want her to have that protein, 40 grams of protein off the bat with good essential fats. Now, what else does she like? Does she like boiled eggs? Does she like, trust me, cooked bacon, cooked sausage on Sunday, uncured sausage, okay? Turkey and beef sausage, what have you. Let her eat that. It doesn't have to always be cooked in the morning. She can have that, and they will tell you what they like. So she can have that, grab it and go. And you can make overnight cheer, overnight cheer, like cereal bowl that is really nice, very healthy, with actually even like some fruits, blueberry, raspberry in it. Great start for the day. You eat that cold. Okay, she can have a protein unprocessed waffle that has 15 grams of protein with nice ghee on it, nice good fat for the brain. She's off the door. 5 minutes is out. I've lived this. I walked it. I walk it, so I know. You need the help. I can help your daughter. so that way she can function better. Sounds like she's busy. Next question.
And I just wanted to mention that the parent did note that she does love nut butters, putting nut butters and things, but she does boil her own eggs.
Great. That's wonderful. Great. That's a great start. Yes, add some more variety to it because children will get, they get bored after a while. So yeah, add some more variety to that. Good.
And
Any
this may
additional
be,
questions? Okay.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes. Go ahead.
This may be a great question to conclude our evening with, but as both a doctor and a mother, what health habits have made the biggest difference for your own family?
Oh, wow. Thank you for asking that. The biggest impact for my family has really been, and I humbly say this, I really did not realize this until seeing my boys at the age they're in. That when they were little, all I wanted to do was get involved, get in there with me. And to see each and every one of them prioritizing, and I say that with all humility. They prioritize protein, they prioritize complex carbs, they prioritize healthy fats. They know how to get their day started. And they even know how to make our day get started. Humbles me. I feel like, you know what? I humbly say, I'm like, this is it. This is leaving my legacy to the children. And that they know how to do this so well and know how to jumpstart their day as just being, and that's how our family is. You should see it, and I mean, and I'll tell you, it's not pretty. Sometimes it's like we're running around, but they know it, and I don't even have to say it anymore. So looking at them older now and seeing them, the one that's been in college, the ones going to college, knowing, understanding, not having to talk about it before, because before it was like I had to say it over and over, like, okay, get in with me, get in with me. But now it's like, okay, it doesn't have to look cute on the plate, but we know how to get our protein, we know how to get our healthy fats, and we know how to like guac something in the morning and kind of make, whatever it is that we make, where it's protein, and healthy fats and complex carbs, just to get our day going. Is that's it right there, right there, and yes. All right.
Well,
Thank you, everyone. Like I
thank
mentioned, I want to continue the conversation. We didn't get to all the slides. We have, Michael, can you run through the slides just so that people can see? We have 50 slides. Can you just show, like, we have not even reached the tip of the iceberg. So we have, yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, we have more to go. So if you enjoyed this, please, we're just getting started. I didn't get into this. I didn't get into all that. So if you're interested, let us know. We'll bring this back again. It's been a true honor for me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, send your info and your questions, and we'll take that from you. Thank you again for joining me. It's been a true pleasure and honor, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you, and God bless you.